the weight of everything you've carried. I want to ask you something, and I want you to answer it honestly. Not to me, but to yourself. How long have you been tired? Not just sleep tired, although that's real also, but tired in a deeper way. Tired of trying. Tired of starting over. Tired of being the one who holds everything together while quietly falling apart inside. Because I think for a lot of women, and this is something I see over and over, the weight on the body is not separate from the weight of the life. The carrying, the overgiving, the decades of putting yourself last and telling yourself that was love. It was love, I'm not dismissing that, but love without ever receiving. Giving without ever being replenished, that has a cost. And often the body is where that cost shows up. We live from stories that we didn't consciously choose. Stories that were handed to us or that we created to survive something that we went through, quite often at a very young age in childhood or growing up. And one of the most common stories I hear from women in menopause is this: my needs don't matter as much as everyone else's. If I rest, I'm lazy. If I put myself first, I'm selfish. And so they keep going. The stories continue on. They keep carrying, and their nervous system, loyal, literal, unable to distinguish between a belief and a fact, keeps responding to that overload as if it's a genuine threat. Because to the nervous system, it is. Chronic neglect is a threat, and the body knows. Here's what I want you to sit with today. The exhaustion isn't a character flaw. The weight isn't a discipline problem. They're your body's way of saying enough. Something has to change. Not your body, but something in how you're living. Something in the story that you've been running from. I know change is scary. I know that putting yourself first can feel almost physically uncomfortable, like you're doing something wrong or taking something that isn't yours. Decades of conditioning doesn't just dissolve overnight for everybody. But here's what I know to be true. You cannot pour from an empty vessel. You know this. You probably said it to other women, to your best girlfriends. But have you applied it to yourself? Really, actually applied it? What I want to offer you today is not a technique, it's a permission slip. Permission to be tired without calling yourself weak. Permission to slow down without calling yourself lazy. Permission to need things, rest, nourishment, stillness, joy, without justifying it to anybody. You've been surviving on the edges of your own life, and your body, magnificent, patient, and long-suffering as it is, has been sending you this signal for a long time now. This is the signal, not a punishment, not a failure, a signal. And the most powerful thing you can do this week, more powerful than any meal plan, any supplement, any workout, is to listen to it. What does your body actually need right now? Not what you think it should need, not what the latest wellness trend says, but what does this body, your body, that's carried you through everything, what does it need? Start there. That's where the healing begins, not in doing, but in the listening.